ROG goes modular with a mouse that's throwing stars at our eyes because it's called a chakram. And I'm making a horrific joke once again. Good afternoon. Welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety, or Wookie Triple XL. And we have a ROG Chakram Core today. Hence the ninja stars in your eyes, stars, chakram. It's a star thing and it's a chakram and it's cool, okay? It's come from ninja stuff in Japan, which is weird because it's a Taiwanese-based company, but they keep naming their stuff after Japanese things. Maybe ASUS really likes Japan, maybe Japan really likes ASUS. Who knows? All I know is this is one of the most feature-packed mice I've ever seen, ever. The price point, it has been made competitive with other mice in the bracket, and the wired version has a couple of changes from the wireless one that I kind of am a bit why. And then the sensor, they've kept the low power one from the wireless into the wired as well, which is a little bit why, but none of it actually detracts from the overall usage of the product because, like I said, this is a modular mouse. Even this one, the wired one, they have removed some of the all of the wireless features, and along with that, quite a lot of weight as well, because this puppy is only about 97 grams as it stands, without the extra weight that it does come with. So if you want a heavy big boy mouse, then look no further. Especially if you've got like hands like an Easter Island head, then this is going to be absolutely perfect for you, and you'll see why as we go through the review. So let's go from base to buttons right now as we start on the bottom. So PTFE feet, nicely arranged around, very good surface area coverage, no drag, catch or anything on the mouse pad. Sensor hole nicely covered as well. DPI switch on top, which then cycles between the 4 DPI on the mouse, not the profile cycling. The profiles are then embedded in your ROG armory crate and you then switch them from there. Then on the left hand side, you will notice a joystick, which can be configured in a number of ways, which I'll show you a little bit later. 2 thumb buttons, quite nicely positioned. I saw someone complaining about the texture of them. There's a gap in between the buttons. If you run your hand over it, you would notice that. I don't know how you would miss that. It was very arbitrary for me. Left click, right click on top, nicely done, little curves in them, very G502 in the look, feel and finish of this. Also a little bit Razor Basilisk FPS, that's like those 2 mice have been smooshed together by ROG into this new creation. And then on the right hand side there's, well, nothing, it's just textured surface. Nice that it is just a textured surface and not rubberized, because the lifetime of the product is going to be that much better. There's not going to be weird sticky glue underneath your hand. And that's exactly what ROG has set this up for. So that's where we start taking open the shell and you'll see what I'm talking about. So peel off the back first, magnetically attached all of these little covers, smoked sort of plastic effect from it. I think clear may have been a better idea, especially when you've got the logo over there. In the Chakram wireless, you get a little like let's call it a puck or a little ring that you can then color in if you want to, or modify however you want to have a picture there. But I think, well, I'm gonna hazard a guess, and I bet you with a quick Google could probably back that up, is you'd probably be able to 3D print these. I'm sure someone has made dimensions and stuff for this, and then you could 3D print and put a wire or put your own image in there, which I think would be quite nice. And the effect though with the smoked glass is that it doesn't really shine through that much, and for such a clean looking sleek product, I can't help but feel if this was clear it may have just been a little bit better. But moving further into the mouse, this is where things get very interesting and where some rogginess is happening. Because if you don't know, ASUS has pretty much the biggest like R&D department of any IT company or IT manufacturer in the world. I know this from having worked there. I'm very proud of it. So if you pull this sucker out from the inside, the whole button comes out. And then inside, you'll notice you have direct access to the top of your on-run switch. That's because these are hot swappable. If you want to put in a new set or get a different set, you'll be able to do that. And it's the D2FC variants. So there's like tons of them online. If you go into Amazon, they're like $5 or whatever. I found a local company here in South Africa selling sets of 6 for 120 Rand. 120 bucks. It's 20 bucks a switch. So switches for this would be 40 Rand. That's 50 million click lifetime. 50 million for 40 Rand. Pretty good deal. Similarly, on the right hand side, this one also comes off. And like I say, you've then got access to those 2 buttons over there. But most importantly is what's going on inside this little switch that I've now removed. It might seem quite innocuous on the surface of things, it's just a removable switch, but with a close-up I'll show you. In the back of the switch is actually a little spring, and what that does is when it sits in position, it actually pushes the mouse click surface down onto the button, so there's 0 distancing, and it's spring loaded, so it can actually, you can see it there on camera, it can actually move back and forth like that. So the fact that it can then be loaded down onto that means that there's a 0 delay response from that while still keeping a removable part. Very clever from ROG to do that, to spring load that portion. Like I said as well, you do get a couple little extra doodads along with your mouse, including ROG branded tweezers, which is pretty sick, I have to say, and they're actually perfect for this application. They are much better for switch pulling than a normal set because of the way that they've been set up. So clever from ROG like that. I mean, look how easy it was just to pull out that switch, and there's my arm run, and I can literally on the fly pull them out and put them back in. It's kind of sick like that. So if you want a different feel, you wouldn't even really have to turn off the PC or the mouse or anything like that. You can literally just, it is easy also just to put them back in with the tweezers. It's a little bit finicky in there. So obviously that's the physical product and everything that you're getting in the box. But let's talk about performance and perhaps some changes that I would actually implement with this design. I think the design is really good. I like the shape a lot. It is very comfortable. It's one of the best ergos I've ever felt, especially for longhand boys. I tend to spill over the end of mask quite easily with my 19 centimeter from base to tip palm. Like, I clap very well. If you want to invite me out to your next show, you need a good clapper, I got you. That's my thing. So with the mouse, palming is preferable because I've got more of it. Saucepan hand, I don't know why. I don't know why it's like that. It just is. But it makes it good for testing mouse. Okay, put it on the mouse. It's super uber comfortable. The Basilisk, which I've tested as well, very similar feel. I do prefer this one, however, because of the way that they've done the front end here. Having it splayed outwards slightly like that with the textured surface means it's way easier to drag and lift with the sweeping and stuff with this thing. Even at this weight, I didn't find it like fatiguing on my wrist. Honestly, I do have a Sensei 10 as a daily driver, which is a 92 gram mouse. So this is a 97, it's 5 grams more. It's not really going to register. But comparing that to a Model O, obviously that's quite a lot heavier. Some people still prefer a heavy mouse, and well, then you can, like I say, make it even heavier. But this, the idea here is obviously the feature set that it's coming with. One of those primary feature sets being this joystick at the front, which I have to agree with Hardware Canucks on their review of it, is not very well placed. Even with my big hand, it's really hard to get to the front there without moving up on the mouse and moving my hand position, and you can see now it becomes slightly awkward for me to gain full access to this. And it's a pity because the feature sets and everything they've put on there is super sick. So it's got an analog mode in the software, which is a normal 256 position, and it picks up even in the USB game controller window as a full game controller because of the way that this joystick is then reporting. The buttons and stuff don't report there properly, and you probably won't be able to remap them with any tool that fixes into there, because I saw that they just don't report inside of Windows. So do be aware of that. But the other function that this thing has is as a D-pad, a four-way D-pad, as you would have normal arrow keys or something on your keyboard. If you're a 60% user and you still want arrow keys, this would be a great way to get arrow keys. Also, you can reprogram each of those to do whatever function you want, really, whether it's a keyboard function or media function, etc., etc. You can program it on all 4 poles. And for like Productivity Worksheet and MOBA and RTS, that's absolutely fantastic. Hit it up with a shift, and you've suddenly got 12 buttons on the mouse that you can program on around your thumb over here. But the positioning kind of defeats that purpose. It's really cleverly set up with that, but it's just too far. It's just too far away, ASUS. People don't have hands like, but okay, some of us do, and some of us will be then quite comfortable with that. So if you're a long boy and you've got long boy hands and you want a long boy product, this is a very good long boy product. Let me put it to you like that. The build quality is fantastic, even just like this. Only a little bit of shake, and that's from the scroll. And it's internal as well. It's not a surface thing. I'm surprised it has that little rattle for something with this many removable parts. And then there's the longevity thing. Because of the buttons, you can just put in new switches whenever you need and keep using the product. So if you keep it in a good condition, because everything else is magnetic, etc., I would say this would probably last you like 5 years plus if you look after it, definitely. I would like to be able to purchase some replacement feet for the mouse. I think that would be really nice. The switches and stuff are easily sourceable because they've used a compatible one that's been used on many other mice and stuff. That's really good. And also, I don't know why the front side LED has been removed. That's kind of disappointing because this is a wired product. It doesn't use battery life to have the LED. So it's on the wireless one, but it's not on the wired one. Why, Rob? Are you telling me LED is now a premium feature on a mouse? Please, just put the LED there because it's bright and it looks fantastic. This is, I have to say, one of the best looking mice though I've pretty much ever used. The only thing is, for me, the only real deal breaker a little bit is the sensor. I just struggled with it a little bit. I especially found that if you put on too many layers of acceleration, then it doesn't do very well. It is a 3335, so it is made for low power consumption areas. And I said to them, this is a wired version, so honestly what I think you should do is rather use a 3370 or a 3389, which is just that much better of a sensor, and then you can stack tons of acceleration on top of those and they never skip a beat. I know to a lot of FPS users what I'm saying, or gamers, what I'm saying is sacrilege, but it's a reality. A lot of people that play WoW or play Dota and stuff on high resolution need to be able to add some acceleration sometimes. So the answer to this problem with the mouse is honestly just to use the DPI scaling. When you do very heavy DPI scaling, it doesn't jitter, only when you have multiple layers of acceleration. So the way I tested that was I used Windows Sense 6, which is actually somewhat accelerated, and then I turned mouse raw input off so that it was going Windows into CS. Well, basically it goes BIOS, Windows, CS. If you just remove one of those layers, it was so much better. Like the sensor was so much better. So just rather than have any acceleration adding on, rather just try and use it as raw as humanly possible into your programs, and then it's going to be shana. But it's a really good start, and I'm actually quite impressed that in a few generations they've made a product that's very competitive with people that have been in, mice for 15, 20 years. So very good job on you, ROG. I'm looking forward to seeing this in a ROG Gladius 2 with that 3370 sensor, please, at like a decent price. It can be wired, and also flex cable, please. This harder non-removable cables are becoming a thing of the past because they're quite annoying and you want a bungee for them. So yeah, if you do that, perfect product. It's still good. It's still really good. I do think it was made for people with longer hands. I mean, just based on that, just look how long it is. Just like if I put it at the palm, it's a long boy. If you want to go online and check other comparisons, there's a ton of them to other mouses and stuff. It's big. It's a very big mouse. Anywho, that's all I have for you in this review. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.